Hey everyone, in the last video we made a registration form that was very basic and the information attained from it was just printed on the console. Now in this video we will get that entered data in a table, in a database. We will save the information in a table. So for that we have the Sqlite model to carry out data related function. Now the entire program would be same except the print entry function. Let me copy the program. I'll go to registrationform.py, Control A, Control C, and I'll just paste it over here. Control V. Fine. Now I'll import Sqlite 3, and if you don't have the module, you can always download it using the command pip install Sqlite 3. So I'll write import Sqlite 3. Fine. And I'll just delete this function def print entry, and in place I'll write def database. I'll get the variables, so I'll write first, just like print entry. I'll write first equals fn.get, second equals ln.get, last name, the first name is done, then dob1 equals dob, the date of birth, dot get, then variable 1 var1 equals var dot get. This was for the country. Then variable 3 var3 equals var underscore c1, var3 equals var underscore c2, var3 equals var underscore c3. Fine. Then the radio button var4 for the gender equals radio underscore var dot get. Now till here the program was same as the print entry function. It changes when I start connecting this data with the table or the database. Now how do we do that? I'll have a variable conn, that is for connection, equals sqlite3 dot connect, and in brackets I'll give in the name of the database. Okay, so I'll write form.db. This is to establish a connection to SQLite. You need to pass the database name you want to connect. Okay, that was form.db. If the specified database is not present on the disk, then a new one would be created by SQLite. Otherwise, it will connect to the one that is already present. Now, if there is a connection established that was done by .connect, I'll write with conn cursor equals conn.cursor. Now, this is another function by SQLite to create a cursor object to execute SQLite commands queries from Python. Okay. Now to create a database to add values to it, SQL commands need to be executed, and since we are doing that in a Python file, I need the cursor object. Okay. Now I'll write cursor.execute, and in inverted commas I'll give in the SQL command. Okay. So execute is used to run the SQL query and return the results. Okay. So create table if not exists student, which is the name of the database or the table. SQL commands are not case sensitive, but they are preferred to be written in uppercase. Then brackets, I'll give in the field names f name, and what type of entry would be made. It would be text, and then l name and also text. DOB, it is a date, so I'll write date, and country, text again. Programming language, I'll write prog language, it is also text, and gender, which is also text. And close the brackets and the inverted commas. Again, I'll have another statement, SQL statement. I'll write cursor.execute in inverted commas, insert into student f name, l name, dob country, prog language, gender, and what values would be inserted? Values, brackets. I'll give in 6 question marks for 6 fields, inverted commas close, and comma. The value of these question marks can be first these variables where we get the value of the string vars, first, second, dob1, var1, var3, and var4. Fine. These were just the 2 SQL statements that I needed, and then I'll commit. I'll write conn dot commit and brackets to make changes to the table to confirm the changes committed. Okay. And also I need a pop-up box after I've submitted the form. So I'll write Tkinter dot message box dot show info. We can print in the same message, congratulations. And for the information, the user has successfully signed up. Brackets close, inverted commas closed. And the rest would be pretty similar. We have all the entries, we have the labels, we have the entries, we have the drop list for the country, then we have the check buttons, the radio buttons. But here for the command of the submit button, I'll change this to database instead of print entry, and the rest can remain the same. Now let's run this, let's fill in the form, and then we'll check the database. So I have my form now. I'll fill in this registration form twice just to have some data when I'm checking the database, the table. So for first name, I can write ABC, and for last name, I can write XYZ. Then for the date of birth, 12/03/2003, I'll select some country, India. Programming language, let it be Python, and gender male, and I'll submit. I have the pop-up box and I'll click on OK and I'll quit. Again, I'll run this. We can give in the first name MNOP, last name QRST, DOB can be 10/10/1980, and I'll select a country, Canada again maybe, and programming language can be Java, female, and I'll submit. I have the pop-up box and I'll quit. Now it's time to check the database. For that you need to download something, and that's database for Sqlite. You can just search the same statement, database for Sqlite, and you'll find this first link, and when you click on it you will see downloads, and you can download the required version. So I installed the standard installer for 64-bit Windows. Now once you've installed it, installing this is very easy. You can go with the default settings, and you just need to check the Tkinter folder in which you are saving all the programs, and there you'll find this form.tb, and you can open it with database for SQL, and you can actually see the table. You will find this interface. So you can see we have our table student. It has the specified field names. When I click on browse data, you can actually see the table that we have filled in. So this was all about the program. We learned how to use Sqlite 3 along with Tkinter and SQL in Python. I hope you understood what we did. Thank you.